Good morning, everyone. It's the first day of July, 2023, Saturday morning. Mark has been reading through Phillips versus the state of Missouri. And if you're interested in obtaining a copy of this book, like I always say, you can go to LarryWPhillips.com, go to our contact section and request a copy, and I'll send you a PDF copy. He's going to be reading today through chapters 13 and 14. Phillips versus the state of Missouri, chapter 13-14. Chapter 13, the Court of Appeal. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Ephesians 6:13. So the state of Missouri was not pleased with the judge's opinion. They have decided to take it to the 8th District Court of Appeals. Frank Mannion tells me as we have a telephone conference. What does this actually mean, I ask. Frank, in his humorous style, tells me that there are 3 judges that will be reviewing the case, and that for us to win the Court of Appeals, we will need to get a favorable decision for 2 of the 3 judges. Again, Larry's face went down quickly. I did not know who these judges were. They might be all pro-homosexual for all that I knew. I had to stop or leave the whole matter to God. He was the one who causes kings and kings to rise and fall. After I gained some perspective, I realized we were facing another long wait for decision from the Court of Appeals. God certainly knew that I needed to learn patience, and this was his way of teaching me just that. It wasn't a year and 4 months later that we received a decision from the Court of Appeals. This was a tremendous victory. All 3 judges ruled in our favor. There was no doubt that we were on our way to ending this once and for all, right and wrong again. The state of Missouri didn't like the decision. The Court of Appeals decided they were going to ask for a 12-judge panel review. I was beginning to really doubt our justice system. It's legal. How could they just keep dragging this out like this? Did the Attorney General's office have the conscience to even recognize a rule of law and abide by it? These were the questions I asked Tom Nielsen and Frank Mannion, who assured me that the Attorney General's office was in its legal jurisdiction to request a 12-judge panel review of the case. Frank Mannion again assured me not to be overly concerned. He stated, Larry, we already have 3 of the judges who have ruled in our favor. We only need 50% of 12. Which means we only need 3 more of the 9 to go with us. I thought I'm sure glad that Frank Mannion is this tenacious, because I'm certainly not. Frank also pointed out that the Court of Appeals didn't have to grant the Attorney General's office request for 12-judge panel review. So it appeared that we did have some things working in our favor at this juncture. It was only a matter of several weeks until we learned that the request for 12-judge panel review had been turned down at the Court of Appeal. I was jubilant once more. Sometimes I felt like I was at Worlds of Fun on the roller coaster. 1 month I was up, the next I was down, never knowing what to expect from the Attorney General's office. But this one thing I did know. God had intervened for us hundreds of times on this case, and He's the only one calling the shots, not me and not Satan. This was a proclamation of God's sovereignty in the most wonderful way. What I didn't know is that the Attorney General's office was in the process of asking permission for the Attorney General to take this case to the Supreme Court of the United States. Chapter 14 requested by Attorney General's attorney to go to the Supreme Court, ultimate denial. Take heed that you despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Matthew 18:10. It is always helpful to remind myself that the children need someone to go to bat for them. It is also helpful to know that Christ himself sought protection of the little children. When Frank Mannion discovered the attorney from the Attorney General's office was seeking permission from the Attorney General to take the Larry Phillips case to the Supreme Court of the United States, he really thought this was almost a laughable request. I asked him what he thought the odds were that he would end up in the Supreme Court. Frank said that he thought the odds were next to zero that the case would end up in the Supreme Court. He also indicated that even if the Attorney General granted this particular attorney his request, the odds were very remote that the Supreme Court would even hear my case. So the feeling I got was that now the state of Missouri's attorney was going for a long shot. It didn't take long before we got the great news. The Attorney General's office had denied the request of the attorney in his office took the case to the Supreme Court. Yes, it was real this time. The Attorney General's office was in day defeat and stating that they were prepared to settle the case. The news came on December 14, 2001. This was a landmark date for our family. I wondered what God's plan was next for us. My desire was to work with others going through similar battles. I believe God had opened the doors for a specific purpose of glorifying himself through my service to others.
Thank you, Mark. Now Monday we'll start in chapter 15. Have a blessed weekend.